Okay, today we are playing a game on Nepal. We are playing the first round as Tracer, and then we are playing the rest of the game as D.Va, and the average SR of this game was 2,708. So let's look at our team. Our boy Muffin here has not picked yet, but he is going to pick Roadhog, a very tall Roadhog. So we're going to have Tracer, Roadhog, Lucio, Reaper, Reinhardt, and Zenyatta. If I was Johnny Vibe over here, I would not pick Reinhardt at this point because he's going to have exactly two people standing behind a shield while everyone else is off trying to flank. So I'd just pick Zarya if I was Johnny Vibe, honestly, but whatever. So we don't really care about most of our team right now because we're playing Tracer, the most independent hero in the game. The only things we kind of care about, do we have a Zenyatta, because the Harmony Orb is good at supporting Tracer since it stays on you for 3 seconds out of line of sight. And we care about Zarya because Pulse Bomb Graviton is one of the strongest ult combos in the game because it kills you through Transcendence. So there's very little counterplay to it other than have more hit points, or Lucio Sound Barrier can sometimes save you, but that's about it. So we're going around the left-hand side now on Sanctum. This is the way that you want to go if you're playing a short-range hero like Tracer. And we see a Mercy over here with Discord Orb on her, and we're thinking, great, awesome. Turns out her whole team are arriving just as we are as well, so that's very unfortunate timing for us. We come around here and we start trying to bully around this Reaper. Tracer is very good at bullying around Reaper because she can fight Reaper from slightly further than Reaper can. I would blink away from the Reaper a little bit sooner, though, because he's very close, and Reaper is only ever really one good shot away from killing a Tracer. But we get out of there pretty quickly anyway. And we've managed to damage him after he's picked up the health kit, so we force him to Wraith form back to his team. Unfortunately, now his team is very grouped together, so it's hard for us to do too much right now, and we're low HP, so we've got to back out and get healing. Unfortunate thing that did happen while we were fighting is our Roadhog has actually died. You might have seen it up in the kill feed, so our team is starting to lose ground at this point, because we're also playing Tracer, so we're not there fighting with them, obviously. And we come over here just in time to see our Reinhardt die, and a very, very charged Zarya bullying Zenyatta to death. So, at this point, we're trying to bully Zarya. Fucking I almost said like 9 different names there. We're trying to bully the Zarya, but she's full charge, so it's not going to really work out so well. And we recall right next to her again, which is unfortunate. Trying to get the Ana, but Ana's really good at fighting Tracer, cause, just splash on the ground, and now suddenly Tracer's half HP, and we're kind of getting held hostage by her at this point. Should be trying to get to the health kit right now. We kind of lose ourselves in the wall a little bit, but we got over here in the end. I will say, blink to the health kit. Blink to the health kit because you've got 40 hit points and you've got one blink just charged up. You are very close to dying right now, so getting to that health kit is pretty important. But you don't get killed for it anyway, so that's fine. We're coming over here now to try and help our Reinhardt with this Reaper situation. It's not going well, He got killed by the Reaper, and then Zarya pops out right next to us and kills us. Things are not going very well right now. I don't think there's really too terribly much we could have done to really swing this around, because the enemy team has been very tight-knit together right now, so there's kind of hard to get much work done as Tracer if you don't have Pulse Bomb built up, and we've only just built that up, so. Here's Reaper again, and there goes Reaper again. We stick the Zarya right there, and we also kill the Ana, but Mercy's on their team. However, this is still a profit for us, because Pulse Bomb charges extremely quickly. It's one of the fastest charging ults in the entire game. Zarya has lost all charge because we just killed her, so now she has to build all of that up again. So, even though she gets rezzed immediately with the Ana, it's still a profit for us because we traded a very easy to recover resource for Zarya's charge, and Zarya is much less threatening at 0 charge, so I still consider this a worthwhile use of resources. Reaper is going in right now to use Death Blossom. Since they've just used their res, there's not much they can do about it, and we're going to try and bully this Roadhog. Did recall a little preemptively there, and now he's using Whole Hog out of fear, and we're just going to kill him, and their whole team's dead right now because we just overwhelmed them with ultimates, basically. I mean, not really. We used 2 ultimates, didn't we? But both ults were used very well, so. We've gotten control of the point now. We've almost got another Pulse Bomb built up already. We found Ana, who somehow hadn't died yet, and we kill her right there. Can't recall to heal off the debuff. Unfortunate, but no fighting's happening right now. And look at that, we've almost got Pulse Bomb built up again. Our Roadhog just committed suicide right there. We could try a little harder to kill this Roadhog, because our recall is up right now. So we could blink up, like, not right in the Roadhog's face, because then if he gets one good left click on you, you die. But you could blink past these people near Roadhog and try to kill him, because he is very low HP, and then just recall back out again. I understand why you didn't try for that, but you could have tried a little bit harder to kill him, especially since Pulse Bomb is also almost up, so you could have actually just blinked up to him, charged up Pulse Bomb, stuck it on his face, and then recalled away, because he's so low HP already from what's just happened. So, possibly missed opportunity there. I mean, you know, it's not impossible, you know, he might still survive that situation, but I think you could have killed him. So now we're running down the Zarya right here. We managed to kill her before she gets to the health kit, and we've got Pulse Bomb built up. So basically we're trying to find an opportunity to use Pulse Bomb as quickly as possible. It was a very interesting chart I saw not that long ago, which was like an analysis of how long, ultimates were held seconds-wise compared to each other by pro players. And obviously, like, this is a different, like, pro games are completely different, obviously. But, like, the two ultimates that were held for the shortest period of time were Graviton and Pulse Bomb. Because Graviton you initiate with, so obviously that's held for the least period of time. Pulse Bomb also tends to be used right at the initiation, so... And then, it was like, they were like 25, 30-ish seconds on average they were held, and then, like, Mercy's res was like a minute held by comparison, because he used that at the end of the fight. So, basically when we have these ultimates, we're looking to use them as quickly as possible. Target prioritization is pretty important for Tracer, where you sort of want to figure out what the enemy team is as quickly as possible, and then you want to decide who you're gonna Pulse Bomb. Well, who you're trying to bully around in general, but when you've got Pulse Bomb, you're basically just looking for them so that you can try and stick it on their face immediately. And if they have a Mercy, it's usually going to be Mercy. I mean, it's usually going to be the supports in general, but like, so it's like, you figure out what their team is, and you think to yourself, alright, now, who's highest priority target? It's like Mercy, other supports, DPS. Well, range DPS, I'll say, because like, frontline DPS like Roadhog Roadhog as well as a DPS technically. Roadhog, Reaper, May, not really what you're concerned about. Like long range DPS are more the ones that Tracer are trying to bully around. And then you just, as soon as you've got Pulse Bomb, you try and find them and you try and stick it on their face. You don't necessarily have to stick the Mercy, because if you use your Pulse Bomb before the fight starts to kill one or two people, and Mercy reses them before the fight starts, that's still good for you, because then she can't use it, because the idea behind res is you wait for all of the ultimates to be expended, and then you res your team so that they can swing the fight back around again. If you get the Mercy to use her res before the fight starts because you stuck one or two people, that's a good use of your ultimate, because now Mercy can't use her ultimate for the thing that she's trying to use it for. And Pulse Bomb, it's not even unimaginable you build up a second one during the same fight. It builds up that quickly, especially if you can bully around like a Roadhog or something. So, basically you're trying to use your Pulse Bomb as soon as you get it, is like the moral of the story right there. Even if Mercy reses them, it's fine, because she doesn't want to res them from getting picked off by a Tracer Bomb. So we're trying to bully around the Ana right here. I would be tempted to just stick the Ana in the face right there, but that would probably not be the correct play. However, I know trying to stick a Genji is also not the correct play, because Genji's hard to stick in general. And we whiff it anyway, but like, I wouldn't recommend trying to stick a Genji, because Genji's one of those people that's hard to stick. So, Reaper pops out right next to us unexpectedly and Death Blossoms and kills us. We didn't have recall up at the time, so there's not a lot we can do about it other than just not be next to Reaper when that happens, but it was kind of unexpected. It's possible faster reactions might have saved you if you blinked away, but you would have still probably been low HP anyway, so, you know, shit happens, basically. We don't really want to get involved in this situation, because this is a fight we are not destined to win. And we indeed don't win that fight. I would look at that, take one look at that, and then just be like, nope, I'm leaving. Wouldn't even really try and go around and flank people at that point, because, something to bear in mind when you're playing a flanking hero is your team has to actually be there for you to do any flanking, because if there's no front line, you're not actually flanking anything, are you? Because then they just turn and kill you if there's no front line occupying them. Very many times I've seen a Genji or a Tracer or a Reaper be like, my team's regrouping. I'm still gonna try and flank them anyway, because that's what I do. I do this by myself. And then they just get fucking killed, because there's no front line for them to actually flank. So, we found the Zarya over here. We found the Mercy as well. All of this is happening. Recall back out. Fucking hell, ultimates are happening over there. We found their supports, but we don't have Pulse Bomb built up right now, and we're just trying to get the Mercy. Mercy died in the end, because she swung right into Reinhardt's swing at low HP. And we've also killed their Zarya, but then this happens over here, and what can you do? Wouldn't do that, wouldn't bother doing that, because this pick doesn't actually do anything now, because your team has to actually regroup now. So this is an instance where I would not use Pulse Bomb, because this Pulse Bomb's not going to lead to anything. By the time your team gets back, Ana's going to be back. So you should have just held it in that situation. We're trying to bully around this Genji right now. Not usually a fight you want to be getting involved in, but there's kind of nothing else for us to really be shooting at right now, so whatever, I guess. Our team actually does manage to get back just in time to still capture the point anyway, so that's great. Still wouldn't recommend pulse bombing the Ana in that situation. Now we're trying to bully around this Roadhog. Roadhog is in general fairly easy to bully around as Tracer, but oh god, we got caught up on the Mercy while we didn't have any blinks, and we got hooked and we got killed. Feels bad, man, but look at all this happening over here. Doesn't even matter what we do, because we just overwhelmed them over here with ultimates. Great. So, now we're going to change to D.Va. We weren't really feeling the Tracer. Tracer is kind of hard to play on Sanctum, because the enemy team tends to be very close together. So it tends to be harder to actually, like, pick people off. That being said, though, Pulse Bomb tends to be better on, Sanctum because the enemy team is so close together. There's a higher chance you can just stick somebody and, kill them. I would say that we didn't ult very well in that game, in general. There was the one good ult that led to the Mercy res, but then other than that, I wasn't really feeling any of the other Pulse Bombs, Mr. Krabs. Even the one on the Ana at the end. It ended up working out, but, like, only because our team just barely managed to get back in time while they were still reinforcing. You generally don't want to try and pick people off while your team is still dead, because they can just get back in time. So, now we're playing D.Va, though. We've come up this way, our team had different ideas. Doesn't matter, because the enemy team has gotten here way slower than us, because they don't have a Lucio right now. And so, now we're playing D.Va, so, you know, we are still kind of a flanker, but she's not so good at that anymore, since Blizzard made her way less survivable. So right now we're just sitting up here and trying to support Reinhardt, and now we're over here in this fight that's breaking out. Wouldn't bother trying to fight a Genji. Genji is very hard for you to deal with as D.Va. Typically, I would be more interested in this Reaper over here, cause, like, Genji's hard for you to deal with, but if you come over here and just, like, put your defense matrix over this Reaper's face, like, McCree will win this fight, or you could just go over there and start fighting the Reaper as well. Genji, less of a priority, because he's harder for you to deal with. Whereas Reaper, D.Va like super counters. Like, it's not even funny. So we're trying to bully their Mercy right there, but the shotguns pop out behind us and manage to break our mech. However, we're not in risk of dying, and we're still winning this fight anyway. So now we get to sit back here and just shoot the pistol into some people. Didn't manage to get many shots into people, so we still have to build our ult back up. Reaper's over here. Reaper's running away now because his entire team is dead. I always find it funny to just watch call mech build up, because even when you don't shoot anybody, it just builds up so fast. But then, oh god, we got like 2 shots into that Roadhog, and we've almost got our mech, and we've got our mech back. Great. Awesome. We're playing D.Va again. So, they have a Pharah now. D.Va does counter Pharah. In more ways than people necessarily realize, because I think D.Va is like a pretty strong counter to Pharah, typically, and most people are like, oh yeah, well obviously she stops Barrage. I mean, that's part of it, but D.Va's also good at killing Pharah, surprisingly. Not necessarily herself, but here's the idea. The idea is, if you're playing D.Va, and there's a Pharah on the other team, you fly right up into her face, and then you do about 100 damage to the Pharah. You're gonna do less than 100 damage, but you're gonna do about 100 damage to the Pharah. And it's mostly guaranteed damage because you, like, use your face to do it, right? You fly into the Pharah and you punch the Pharah and you shoot the Pharah as you fall down. So you do, like, half the Pharah's HP roughly in damage. And then the idea is that a DPS, I almost said another DPS, a DPS can then finish off the Pharah because she's at half-ish HP at that point. So that's the theory on why D.Va is a really good counter to Pharah, other than just Barrage is completely countered by Defense Matrix. So, enemy team's coming up around here. Roadhog's managed to pick off our Zenyatta, not our Zarya, two very different heroes right there, so that sucks for us. We've swung around the corner right into their face and then didn't really have anything to do in their face. I think the idea is we were trying to save Zenyatta when we swung around here, but we end up just being right in front of the enemy team, and then we have to, like, back away from the enemy team with Defense Matrix up. We've used a lot of Defense Matrix here, which we didn't necessarily need to use, because we couldn't save the Zenyatta, and then we just had to use it to back up again. Defense Matrix is a precious resource, which we should treasure. So that's not a very good use of it. Most D.Vas are too willing to just use their Defense Matrix on nothing. Defense Matrix is, like, the best thing about D.Va, so we want to be very careful how we use this resource. We don't want to ever really be in a situation where we have to use, like, the entire bar just to back away from people, because that's, like, a tragic use of it, basically. So, Zarya's right here. Zarya counters D.Va really hard, especially when she's got some charge, and that's what she has, so she broke our mech. Reaper went in, tried to ult, didn't get anything done. We're not long for this world, because half of our team is dead right now, and we do indeed die. Silver Lining, Genji just used Dragon Blade, which he very much did not need to use right there, so that's something. Our team is very over-eagerly going in right now. We're trying to get them to stop going in, but they're still going in right now. We just lost Reinhardt. Just saw Pharah very sadly fall down in front of us. How fucking sad. I'm gonna watch it again, because that's just really sad to watch her slide off the roof. Oh god, Pharah. What's my life come to? Shouldn't even peek this corner, because we have to wait for our team to come back, but now we're hiding around the corner waiting for our team to regroup, so that's great. Don't really want to peek the corner right now, because they have a Roadhog, so the risk of getting picked off is fairly high. Even as D.Va. But we don't get picked off for it, that's fine. We almost have self-destruct built up, but that's not really an ultimate you worry about overly so, because it's hard to get value out of self-destruct, much like High Noon. So we're not overly concerned about that. This Zarya is out of position, so we dive right on the Zarya's face and we kill her, and now we're gonna try and go in. We've just lost our McCree to Pharah, which is very sad, right as we're going in. Pharah is actually close enough to the ground, though, that we get to just bully her to death. How fucking sad was that? So, we're going in now. Anyway, Roadhog's just killed 2 people with Whole Hog, nowhere near us, so there wasn't much we can do about it. Saves Zenyatta's life. Zenyatta's using Transcendence. We do have our ultimate, but there's not much reason to use it right now, because they're just gonna disappear around the corner if we do use it. What I would do probably here, is I would be tempted to just, like, throw the ult on the staircase, like, slightly behind the staircase to try and force the Mercy to walk into our team. But she just walks into our team anyway, basically, and there's not that many of our team still currently here, so I mean, whatever at the end of the day. Because basically the idea with self-destruct is you use it mostly just to zone people, because it's almost impossible to actually kill people with self-destruct. There's that achievement that's like, kill 4 people with self-destruct. That's like one of the hardest achievements to get in the entire game, because it doesn't happen. Self-destruct is not an ultimate that kills people. So the idea is basically you use it to zone people, and there's 2 ways to do that. You can zone them when they're trying to come in, so you zone defensively, like, nope, don't come in now, and we do that later on. Or you can try and zone them aggressively, where you throw the ult behind them, and then you force them to either, like, to go into a position they don't want to be in, basically. So I would be tempted to do it right there, just to try and force the Mercy into our team, seeing as we were already starting to win the fight. But ends up not mattering anyway. Now we're just bullying them to death. Zarya's just wasted her Graviton, so that's fantastic news for us. I mean, I guess I'll say the idea is when you're playing D.Va, you want to try and predict when she's going to use the Graviton and block it, but like, who on earth thought she would Graviton in that situation right there when her whole team is dead? So we've got control of the point again, we've got self-destruct, we've almost won the game right here. What I'd probably do right here is, when there's like 5 seconds on the clock, I'd probably just dump my ult right in the middle of the courtyard, because then people coming from over here can't really run past. Like, there's a Zarya here, so Zarya can just, like, bubble and run past it, I guess, but then she has to run into the team with her bubble down regardless. And you might just kill people as they're coming in, or you might zone people off of the point. And then even if it doesn't work out, you're like, it was self-destruct, whatever. It's not an ultimate you have to treasure particularly highly. So, Pharah's doing this, we completely stop Pharah from having any fun. D.Va's just killed 2 people. Right now I would definitely ult at the bottom of the staircase, because then you force them to either die to your ultimate or run onto the point when they're down 2 people. Or you could ult right there, right in front of the people as they're rezzing, and then try and force them off the point, but then Reaper just does this anyway, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You know, basically no matter what we did there, it was gonna work out regardless, and oh god, what a sad day. Oh god, Reaper, what's your life come to? And he dies before he can even die to the explosion. So I think we played that round mostly fine. I think we could have perhaps used our ultimate slightly more aggressively to try and zone people into us, but other than that, I think we did fine that round. So, now we're on Village, my least favorite map in the entire game. We try to go up here. Oh no, oh god, we fucked it up. Oh no, feels bad, man. Half our team's going down here anyway, so we still have to go this way regardless anyway, basically. We do get onto the point much faster than them. We're saving Lucio's life right now from this soldier, so that's great. Soldier is, like, badly out of position, but gets away with it. Oh god, he got away with it for some fucking how. But the fight is going really, really badly for them. We break Zarya's bubble just to kill her faster, that's fine. I don't understand why people are, like, in that kind of situation where the Zarya is definitely gonna die, and then they wait for the Zarya's bubble to wear off. Doesn't matter how much charge she gets if you kill her. So we're over here right now just trying to fuck with people. There's nobody there to really fuck with, so, whatever. Genji just deflected Fire Strike back into our face. Feels bad, man. That's not a very good use of our booster, because, we boost away from nothing, and then we boost directly into their team right as they come out of here. And I mean, like, we don't know they're about to come out of this doorway altogether, obviously. But we use our booster for basically nothing, and then we get punished for it because we end up needing our booster to get away from that, and we don't have it. A 6-second cooldown is not very long, but you still don't want to use a cooldown too frivolously because of the possibility that you can get punished for it, like we do right there. And then our whole team gets wiped, except Reaper, who is still over here trying. Somebody else is still over there. Oh, it was Reinhardt. But they're all dead now, so we're gonna wait for our team, as we have to, you know. We're like 2/3 of the way to self-destruct. That's cool, but like, you know, self-destruct is still not an ultimate we worry about overly, so... get hooked by Roadhog right here. Feels bad, man. We've got to use our defense matrix to try and slink back through the doorway. We've managed to slink back through the doorway. Tac Visor is happening right now. We block, like, as much of it as we can, but then we just have to hide out of the way, because we still don't have it. But that's a really bad use of Tac Visor from that soldier, so it's great anyway. Don't know what Zenyatta was doing. Holy shit, didn't see that the first time I watched this through. What the fuck's the plan? What's this guy up to? This Zenyatta is coming at the doorway, charging up his right click. He's gonna, like, peek the corner with his right click into the entire enemy team in this fucking closet. What's this guy up to? Holy shit. Don't do that. Holy shit. So, now we're bullying this Roadhog while he's got Discord on him. He manages to hook us. I would probably ult here, even though this ult is, like, definitely gonna do nothing, because it's in this corner. This fight, I think, is close enough that if you ult here, just getting the mech instantly again might be enough to win you this fight, because this fight is very close to being won. Like, you've almost won this fight, but we don't quite win this fight. And, like, this is happening over here, so this is kind of a hindsight's 2020 thing, where, like, if we did have our mech, we could completely block this whole hog. We didn't know that he was going to do that, obviously. But I think the fight at that point was close enough that you can justify using your ultimate just to get another mech instantly, because I think it was close enough that the mech would have been good enough to swing it. Even in spite of the Roadhog using Whole Hog, like, obviously we couldn't have known that was going to happen, but I think even in spite of that, it would have still been the correct decision to ult right there, just to get another mech. And you don't have to worry about getting, like, super full value out of your ultimate with, self-destruct, because it is one of those ultimates that's hard to get full value out of, like Deadeye. I'm not even joking with you, there are situations where the correct play is to use Deadeye just to reload your gun. I've seen people do that. That's how sad these ultimates are, generally. Like, the best thing about self-destruct is you get another mech. I mean, yeah, you get to zone them for, like, 3 seconds, but, like, more often than not, that doesn't really matter overly so, unless used in a very specific circumstance, or when comboed with, like, Graviton, or, Earth Shatter. So, now, our team has decided that we want to go through the courtyard over and over again, which is not usually the best way you can go, but we're just diving on this Zarya while she's low HP. God, excuse me, Jesus Christ. So, Death Blossom happened over there and killed 2 people. I would not ult as soon as I see that happen in the kill feed, because as soon as you've lost 2 people, it's going to be very hard for you to win the fight, especially since we lost them right at the start of the fight as well. So, generally when you're down people at the start of a fight, you don't want to ult anymore, because the chances of winning the fight are so low, unless you, like, miracle kill, like, 4 people with their ultimate, which doesn't happen. So we're going in again now while our team is still reinforcing, but their team is still reinforcing. We managed to kill that D.Va right there. We were also in overtime, so we kind of have to come in and do this right now. Genji's flipping around in front of us. He doesn't get anything done and dies to Earth Shatter. We put, Defense Matrix over this Roadhog and Soldier for as long as we can. Now we're trying to kill Soldier. We're, like, trying to Defense Matrix as much as we can. Just barely blocked the Zenyatta from getting shot, but he had the sound barrier anyway, so he would have probably still been fine. And we have managed to we're just about winning the fight now, somehow. Anna's coming in to commit suicide. Zarya saves her life. There's not too much extra we could really be doing right now, other than, like, slightly better tracking, but aim better is not helpful advice. We're doing about as much as we can right now, and we have just barely managed to push them off of the point. Great. And we almost have self-destruct built up again, which is, you know, cool, but not overly concerning. We are low HP right now, so we do want to try and, like, get health as quickly as possible. Lucio's healing us right now. We don't really need to use the booster to get over there. Just, like, again, it's like a frivolous use of your cooldown. I don't think, like, it's not like you're gonna get punished for it in this situation, but, like, if you don't need to, generally recommend that you don't, because it doesn't gain you much extra. So, this is happening over here. There's nothing we can do for this man, because he's getting shot in the back by a laser. Hook just barely misses everyone somehow. We've almost got self-destruct. Pulled into the Graviton, we use it right now just to try and zone them off of us, which is a fine use of your ultimate. What I will say, though, is because Zenyatta's using Transcendence right now, probably not the best play to use it right here, because you're pretty safe in the Graviton as long as he's doing this. So, probably don't need to use it right here, but with what happens here anyway, it would not have mattered regardless, because they come in with, like, 19 ultimates and just, like, wipe us off the point. I look at oh my god, it's everything. Not only did they throw the kitchen sink at us, they threw the whole fucking kitchen at us. So, there's not much you can do about that. If Zenyatta's using Transcendence, you don't necessarily need to use your ultimate to try and zone them off as well. That can still be the correct play, because you are, of course, still... It is, of course, still possible to get one shot in, the Graviton, but in that situation, would not have mattered what we did, basically. I'm very disappointed that you have the pistol spray instead of the watching spray, which is the best spray in the entire game, easily. Because no matter where you put it, it fits that location. So, we're back on Shrine again. Almost called it Sanctum. Nope, this is Shrine. And we've managed to get here first because we still have a Lucio and they don't, which is fantastic news. If you can get to the Shrine first, that's great. Soldier right there, trying to commit suicide, doesn't actually get punished, not much we can do to punish him as D.Va. A lot of stuff happening over here. We're coming to try and bully this Reaper around a little bit. Oh, fuck, Zarya's here, so we have to leave. Why Zarya is on our side of the map suddenly is anyone's guess. Oh, fuck. Well, I always do that, Jesus Christ. So we're trying to block this Reaper right now. Reaper's feeling really cock-blocked right now, and he's managed to break our mech. I don't think we can really be doing anything better than what we've been doing right here. And now we're just trying to get our mech back as quickly as possible. Oh, just shooting to the people. Actually almost killed Tracer, and Tracer died anyway. Got right-clicked by Roadhog and died. It happens. I don't think we could have really done anything better there. We could have perhaps been standing further back when we were Baby D.Va, just to try and be safer, but I don't think we could have really done anything much better in that whole exchange, really. We were trying to cock-block Reaper, and we did that to the best of our ability, and he was pretty sad, but then we lost our mech, and we were pretty fucked after that point, because the fight wasn't really going super well. Basically, it was a lot of, like, 1v1, 2v2s happening in, like, 3 different parts of the map, which is, hard, really, to deal with. So, we've been hooked right now. Feels bad, man. However, this Roadhog is he is direly out of position. It's unfortunate he kills the Lucio right there, because there's really no reason Lucio should have died right there. He just wasn't respecting Zonehog's zone of threat, and gets himself killed, which is unfortunate because Roadhog was badly out of position. However, we've also managed to kill their Ana, but we've lost both of our supports right as we're trying to get in the door, so this fight is not really looking too good right now. Bright side, Reaper managed to kill their DPS, and Roadhog can self-heal anyway. So we've actually, even though we lost both our healers right at the start of the fight, which is usually a bad sign, Reaper managed to kill both of their DPS, well, 2 of their DPS, because they still have a Tracer as well. And Roadhog managed to self-sustain, kill their Zarya. So, even though we lost both of our supports right at the fight, it just managed to work out regardless, because usually losing both of your supports right at the start of the fight is not a good omen for the rest of the fight. They did lose their Ana, though, who is also their only healer right now as well, so... I mean, I guess. But I just remember watching it the first time through being like, oh no, we're gonna get killed. Didn't get killed. Feels good, man. So we've almost got self-destruct built up again, that's cool. We're using sound barrier right now. We could like jump on this Roadhog a lot more aggressively. But he's fucking dead regardless, basically, because, I mean, how are you gonna get out of that one, really? And we just managed to completely wipe their team. And we didn't have to really use any resources to do it, either, which is very cool. This is very sad. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, doesn't it feel bad to be Tracer? Holy shit. Hook 2.0 saves our Roadhog right there. However, the enemy team is piling in the doorway after him. We come over here to try and support him, and he's almost fucking dead. We just hold the defense matrix over his face, and he manages to get 2 kills. Holy shit. Did that go a lot better than expected. Well played by us and the Roadhog right there, because goddamn did that not really deserve to happen. And Roadhog has then gone on to kill most of their team. We killed their Zarya. Ana's here. She's gonna fucking die. We won the game. Great. Everything went a lot better than expected in that final round right there. And now we'll watch the play of the game. Which is gonna be Reaper, I imagine. I mean, it has to be one of the Reapers got, like, a quintuple kill, didn't they? Yeah, right here. It's amazing he didn't die for doing that, honestly. But, you know. Sometimes it happens. I have very fond memories of Nepal, Sanctum specifically, with Reaper, because the very first game of Overwatch I ever played back during one of the early access weekends before it came out, the very first game I ever played was Reaper on Nepal, and I got the play of the game in that very game. Through basically the exact same thing. So I have very fond memories of Sanctum. It's one of my favorite maps, basically for that exact reason. Anyway, though. So the thing that stands out to me the most in this game is basically ult execution. Not terribly much else, really. Basically, when we were playing Tracer, I didn't feel like we used our ult that well, except for the one time. You do want to use your ult as quickly as possible when you're playing Tracer, because you're basically looking to just pick somebody with it as quickly as possible. Doesn't even matter if you only kill one person. People, like, Tracer players are very prone to getting in their own head with Pulse Bomb, I find, where they're too afraid to use it because they think they're gonna miss, or they're trying to use it for this big, like, super play of the game, graviton thing. Honestly, just killing one person is a fine use of, Pulse Bomb. In general, when you have your ultimate, using it, unless it's like a really big, impactful ultimate like Graviton or Earth Shatter, if it's like Pulse Bomb, Barrage, High Noon, Death Blossom, just using it to kill one or two people really, really quickly can be worth it. Like, people will laugh at you. Like, oh, nice solo ult. If you trade your ultimate to kill one important person before the fight starts, that can alone be enough to win the game, rather than holding on to the ultimate for a really long time. And Tracer's ult charges really, really fast. I mean, we talked about this kind of in the email you sent this game with, but yeah, when you have Pulse Bomb, you're basically looking to use it as quickly as possible. Even if you only use it to kill one person, that's fine. And even if they then get rezzed, that's fine, because then you got Mercy to use her ultimate in a situation she didn't want to use her ultimate on. That trend tends to psych Tracer players out as well, where they're like, oh, Mercy's just gonna rez them. If you kill two people before the fight starts, and Mercy has to rez those two people before the fight starts, that's not how Mercy wants to use her ultimate. That's a very, like, unfortunate way that she had to use her ultimate. So it's still a good trade in the end, and Pulse Bomb charges really quickly. D.Va's ult is really hard to get full value out of, where you do just use it to zone people. Most people take that as being like zoning defensively, trying to keep them away from you. You can try and zone people aggressively by throwing it behind them, because then you force them to advance into you. Or if there's a Reinhardt there, you make him decide what he has to look at. Like, one of the best uses of self-destruct, honestly, is like, your soldier is using Tac Visor, and you throw self-destruct behind the enemy team, and then they go, fuck, do I look at that one, or do I look at that one? Right? It puts them in a very awkward position. So you can use your ultimate to zone aggressively, which we don't really do in this game, and I think we had a couple of opportunities to do. And sometimes the correct play is to use it just to get another mech. But that's the kind of situation that's hard to really get a feel on, because basically the idea is you think, you have to be like, if I get another mech now, that's gonna be more impactful than me using this ultimate in a better position. Because like, if you lose your mech very unexpectedly, it can be worth it just to get another mech back, because that might be more important than self-destruct. Because self-destruct is one of those ultimates that's like, you don't necessarily expect to get something out of it every time. So sometimes the best thing about it is just, it's another mech, because you lost your mech. But we could use it to try and zone people more aggressively, I think, in this game. That's all that really stands out to me, though. This game, I think we played this game alright, for the most part. The Sanctum Tracer, you know, I mean, you could say we could be trying to, more aggressively trying to poke in on people, but I don't think we really had very many opportunities to do that because of the way the fight was going around us, where, we tended to be waiting for our team to regroup a lot of the time. So I think basically the only real thing in this game that was bad was ult execution. But D.Va is like one of those heroes that's like hard to use their ultimates. Something you did say in the email, let me look at the email again for like the exact wording, but you were basically, it was to the effect of, I don't know how aggressive to be as D.Va. Blizzard's made it really hard to be aggressive with D.Va. I don't really know what their plan is with D.Va, because she kind of wants to be flanking people and like diving backline heroes. But she's kind of really squishy now, so it's really, because they nerfed her armor. So it's actually hard for her to do that now and not just die. Like, if she jumps on a soldier, unless the D.Va, sorry, excuse me, Jesus Christ, I'm disgusting. Unless the D.Va is really, really good at tracking, the soldier is gonna kill the D.Va 9 times out of 10. So it's really hard to actually dive people as D.Va. But at the same time, D.Va doesn't really necessarily want to be with her team that much either, because she's not really like a frontline fighter at the same time, you know. So she's in this awkward position where she's like okay at a few things, but she doesn't have any one thing that she really excels at. Usually the best thing you can do when you're playing D.Va is if you have a Reinhardt, you just sit with the Reinhardt and like use your defense matrix to block like important projectiles like Fire Strike, Helix Rocket, Roadhog, right click sometimes. And just like make the Reinhardt's barrier much harder to break than their Reinhardt's barrier, in theory. In theory, if you're doing this, your Reinhardt will win the barrier war, so that's like one of the best things you can do as D.Va usually. And then, while you're doing that, you're basically just sort of waiting for an opportunity. Like, if you see somebody out of position, you dive on that person and just bully them. If there's a Pharah, you bully that Pharah around, because D.Va is one of the better people at bullying a Pharah. Like we said, you go up and do mostly guaranteed damage, and then your DPS can finish them off. And just trying to protect your own team for the most part with defense matrix, because it's really hard to actually dive on people as D.Va. Like if you're attacking like Nepal, not Nepal, if you're attacking Gibraltar, for example, on the first point, it can be worth it to then like come up on the side of them and like try to like bully, like, distract them and, like, push them off the top or something like that. But for the most part, like, the best case scenario for D.Va is just, like, supporting your Reinhardt and protecting your backline and bullying around like a Pharah if they have it. And waiting for an opportunity to present itself where you can dive on somebody because they're out of position. That's usually the best case scenario for, like, D.Va in terms of aggression. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.